Whether you're looking to boost your immune system or simply enjoy the relaxing effects of tea, one thing's for sure: tea can be beneficial in many ways. The answer will be revealed later. We will only hint to you that green tea, matcha, and black tea come from the same plant. They all contain flavonoids, and they also contain caffeine. So what makes all the difference? Do you love tea even when you are healthy? Well, it's not surprising. Tea is one of the healthiest and most popular drinks out there. But it is important that we know that, contrary to the common perception, not everything we call tea is really tea. Many times we call various herbal infusions, such as chamomile, jasmine, or Louisa, herbal tea. But it is not tea, but simply herbal infusion, which, like tea, also has many health benefits. The term tea, in its correct and original meaning, describes a drink produced from the tea plant, or by its scientific name, Camellia sinensis. The origin of this evergreen plant is in southern China, but it also grows in other Asian countries such as Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Japan, and more, as well as in Australia, Argentina, and Kenya. The tea plant has two main varieties: the Chinese tea and the Indian tea, also known as Assam tea, which have a stronger taste. As mentioned, all types of tea are produced from the same plant, but there are differences between them due to different picking and processing methods. For example, there is a difference if the tea is picked in early spring or mid-autumn, if it has gone through an oxidation process or not, if the tea leaves are rolled by hand into balls, or if they are dried in their natural environment. Tea processing includes a drying process. This process stops oxidation processes that occur in the tea leaves and is one of the factors that most influence the type of tea. The shorter the oxidation process, the brighter the color of the leaves, and vice versa, and this is because a prolonged oxidation process involves breaking down a higher amount of chlorophyll, the green pigment found in colors. You can compare the oxidation process of the tea leaves to an apple that, after being cut, begins to oxidize and turn black. These are the main types of tea. Oolong tea, partially oxidized tea, 10–80% oxidation depending on the type, and accordingly, its color can vary from pale yellow to an amber shade. In some cases, after the oxidation process, the leaves are rolled by hand into small balls, and only then are they dried. This tea is mainly produced in China and Taiwan. Black tea. This is probably one of the most common types of tea in the West, and the one you probably recognize as regular tea. Its dark color is due to the fact that it goes through a full oxidation process for about 2 weeks to a month, and only then is it dried. This tea contains a high amount of caffeine. A cup of black tea has about half the caffeine of a cup of coffee and has a strong taste. Black tea is produced mainly in China and India, but also in other countries such as Nepal and Sri Lanka. Green tea. The green tea is lighter than the black tea and also has a milder and herbal taste. The green tea goes through a steaming boiling process shortly after it is picked in order to stop its oxidation, hence its light green color. The tea leaves are then rolled or pressed and then dried. Green tea is mainly produced in China and Japan. One of the popular types of green tea is matcha tea, green tea that is ground into a fine powder. Green tea contains about half the amount of caffeine of black tea, or a quarter of a cup of coffee. White tea. White tea is a refined and light tea that is especially loved by connoisseurs. Its processing is minimal, and it undergoes a minimal oxidation process, if any, before the tea leaf buds are dried under the sun. Tea is low in caffeine. White tea is mainly produced in China. Fermented tea. It is an aged and partially fermented tea, somewhat reminiscent of black tea. It has a rich and deep flavor and is brown-black in color. The tea leaves are picked and steamed shortly after picking in order to stop their oxidation process, but after drying, unlike green tea, the tea leaves go through a fermentation process. The caffeine content in this tea is the same as that of black tea and is about half of the amount of caffeine in a cup of coffee. Unlike other types of tea, this tea is produced only in the Yunnan province of China, and tea cannot be called pu'er if it comes from another place, just as champagne is not champagne if it was not produced in the Champagne province of France. Among tea lovers, there is a debate as to which tea is the healthiest. White tea and green tea are considered the healthiest because they are rich in flavonoids. plant compounds with many health benefits, and strong antioxidants, In addition, white tea is the lowest in caffeine among the different types of tea. As studies suggest, among other things, that the polyphenol in green tea slows the growth of tumor cells of certain types of cancer. A study of women in Shanghai found that regular and prolonged consumption of green tea resulted in a 32% reduction in the risk of pancreatic cancer compared to women who did not regularly consume green tea. Moreover, green tea also has a beneficial effect on the brain. Reviews of various studies show that consuming green tea may reduce the risk of dementia, Alzheimer's, and cognitive impairment. Studies have also found that green tea is linked with the prevention of obesity, and especially the prevention of abdominal fat. The other types of tea also have many benefits. Oolong tea, for example, is considered particularly good for weight loss, while Puyu air tea lowers the level of lipids in the blood. Even black tea, which has the least healthy image, has various benefits. Studies have found, among other things, that drinking 3 cups or more of black tea daily is associated with a reduced risk of heart disease and stroke. In the end, it's worth remembering that all types of tea are produced from the same plant and contain between 100 and 300 milligrams of flavonoids per cup. So in the end, you can consider the differences between the types, but also choose the most delicious tea for you. That's all for today. We hope you have enjoyed this episode and found some good recommendations to take to your grocery store. As always, remember to subscribe for more content so you never miss out on anything. See you all in the next episode of Good to Know.